campfire. Everybody seems to enjoy doing that, so you know what? I'll do it too. Yeehaw. Hope everybody's good tonight. Oh, coyote hunt didn't turn out like we hoped. Coyotes. Everybody's late back home. Plus, this ain't in bed. Yeehaw. That's a fire. Hey guys. Hey Big Dreams. How are you? Thanks. I was coyote hunting. It didn't work out too well tonight. I was on the right side of the river. Like the right side of the river where all the coyotes were at. So I figured I'd go live for a little while before I go to bed because you guys tried to stick with me. I know this morning it's just really hard out here until I get that sat link next week. That's gonna make a big difference because I got AT&T and it sucks out here. But see if you could guess what I'm doing now. I guess we're not allowed to show that on YouTube. Are you doing all right tonight, man? Yeah, I got. Thanks for the like. Appreciate it. I was set up on the river right going downstream, and I had two coyotes right behind me, like literally 50 yards away, but I couldn't see them in that thick stuff. Good. I'm glad you're doing good, man. Had a doe walk right up to me and start stamping her foot, which is actually a good thing 'cause she was blowing and stuff. I was using a fawn call on a gravel bar. It was kind of open. I was hoping. It's just hard to get that a lion in on that stuff because they don't. You can't really use a decoy because they'll get someplace and sit and just stare at it for hours. I just gotta hope I can like get her to run in or catch her on one of these game cams like I was saying last night. But anyway, we just kind of hanging out. Figured I'd go live, talk to everybody, see who was on, who was up. I know my sister's probably in bed. My wife's probably in bed. And I ain't gonna stay up too late because I was up till midnight last night. But I usually don't do a fire during the hunting season. That's why it's kind of nice to come out here and do this. But anyway, I should have been fishing because I'm not kidding you, man. I'm sitting there in my boat because I set up so I could hunt out of the boat. I put the game call and the decoy across the river so it'd be right at a 100-yard shot if they came into the decoy or the little rabbit spinner. And this doe comes over, all this stuff's going on. I'm sitting there, and I mean, the trout were going nuts. Had a couple big fish come up and feeding right there. And I have my ultralight with me, and I'm thinking, You know, I knew what would happen if I threw that thing out there. I'd hook one of those big bastards, and then I got a gun on my neck, a AR-15. It was just, I was like, yeah, that figures. And tomorrow night, if I decide to go fishing, hey Dookie, how you doing, man? Like, subscribe, hang out with us. I know there's not many on tonight. It's late back east. Normally when I'm earlier, more people. Appreciate the like. Thanks, man. We're just subscribe. We hang out. I do a lot of hunting and fishing. And anyway, that's what I was just saying. I was sitting there coyote hunting and half-ass cougar hunting because we got a lion out here we kind of like to get her out of here. But anyway, the trout were just going nuts. The rainbows were feeding like crazy because there was a hatch going on. It was hilarious. But now tomorrow night, if I go fishing, there'll be coyotes running up and down the bank, flipping me off, and the fish won't be hitting. It's just like Murphy's Law. You know how that works. So anyway, yeah, we were just having a large time tonight. Being groovy. Hey, Ghostbusters, how are you doing tonight? I'm just doing a fire. I'm going to move this for a second so I can read the chat. I'm just doing a fire and hanging out being groovy. Like I was just saying, I was doing some coyote hunting tonight and lion hunting and a little bit of both. Predator hunting, I guess you'd call it. And it was just one of those nights. But thanks for liking and subscribing and all that. We do a lot of hunting and fishing in Idaho. And I'll be going bear hunting in Minnesota at the end of September. And I've been having trouble with my live streams. I could do it here at camp, but I can't get on the river and go too far because I lose my service. So I got a Starlink coming so I can start doing these lives a lot better because I catch a lot of fish out here. Big trout, big smallmouth bass, but it just, makes for a hard way. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. I know it's kind of boring when you're not actually sitting here, and I don't know, like I said, I hope my wife would get on so I could say goodnight, but she probably went to bed. And all my sister sent me was, because she sent me, are you going live tonight? About 2 hours ago. And then it's like, well, I hope the cat didn't get you. Well, thanks. Appreciate that. I love you too, sis. So yeah, we're just kind of hanging out at hunting camp, getting ready for the thing. Oh yeah, Clutch Craze, man. No worries. Thank you. Thanks for the sub, and I appreciate it. I haven't got to get on your channel and check it out yet because I've been out here, but when I get home, I will. And that's what I told my sister. All you guys are on this time of the day. Well, the time of the night for us. So it's good to hang out. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'll get on there when I get home Monday. During the week, I kind of try and catch up on everybody because I enjoy all the content. It's just cool to see what y'all are doing, man. Thank you. I appreciate good content, and it doesn't have to be hunting and fishing, Please don't. Squirrel Magnet, what's up, man? How are you doing? I'm not roasting anything, son. I'm just doing a fire. We ate earlier. I actually was up here playing around, and I was cleaning out my dove blind and my duck blinds and all that. I'd show you Big White. I've got one of them in my hand and another one waiting to help put me to sleep. But anyway, yeah, I was sitting here cleaning out the dove blind, and the duck blind, and one of my buddies came by in his jet boat and stopped because he's selling his boat, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, it's been hot too, 501. We're in Arkansas at you. Good, Squirrel. I'm glad you're doing good, man. I want to be at Snowy Mountain right now and drink my beer so bad. Yeah, I bet you do, Clutch. It's been hot here too. It's supposed to be 100, I think. I think Tuesday. And then I was watching, and they never get the weather right in Idaho, but it's supposed to start cooling off here in a couple weeks. So, yeah, you guys, Clutch, I've been all over the country, central area. 501, I used to spray in Searcy, Arkansas. So I've been all over Arkansas. I'm a crop duster. It's what I did my whole life. I did a lot of things, but India, wow, man. So it's like middle of the day over there, isn't it? Soham. But yeah, I sprayed out of Searcy, Arkansas for Ken McConaughey for a while. Hey, Ashley B, what's up? What are you doing up so late? I was hoping I'd get to see you. I've been coyote hunting and hanging out. Nights, how you doing, man? 8:48 in India. But yeah, we just kind of hanging out tonight, Ashley. Love you. Sis said when I see you to tell you hi. We think the world of it. Yeah, crop dusting's a hoot. Made good money at it. My grandfather was the first commercial aerial applicator. He started spraying in 1941. Skipjack, hey honey, how are you? I figured you'd be fishing tonight. You got a date soon? Tonight? It's Saturday night, man. It's 11 o'clock, isn't it? Or no, wait, it's 10 o'clock. Clutch, it's. No, you're on my time. That's right. I'm getting confused. Um, you and Granny's live earlier. Yeah, she had said she was probably going to go, and I was out here. Remember protection? Hey, man, girl, how are you? It's good to see you. Like I said, I got on to go live tonight just to, you know, be groovy, be cool, and try and catch up with all of you guys because it's hard to, you know. But yeah, Ashley, we think the world of you. We really do. Let's see here. We got to go to this. We got to go to that, and then we got to go. I'm trying to get these things fixed. Um, Sorry, man. When I get going, it's hard to like. Yeah, I was coyote hunting. I tried to go to night live and I couldn't. So I had to. We actually tried to kill a mountain lion. There's one that came up here and walked right through camp a couple weeks ago, and we need to get her out of here because when she walked right through camp after Aaron and his kids were here, it's just not, a good thing. So, um, I mean, I don't really care if I kill her. If we run her out of here, we just don't want her around because she's a pretty good sized cat. I'm in 501. I'm in Idaho. Um, I'm on the southeastern corner of Idaho. Oh, no worries, main girl. I've been meaning to do that, and I just never get to catch you. Coming to give you company on the empty chair. Yeah, that's why it's sitting there. Y'all are filling up that chair. I'm just sitting here drinking a BEAR because I guess you can't say anything about. I guess you can't say anything about. You know, I don't know. Sis was telling me that alcoholic beverages and all that kind of stuff, they get all, you know. Yeah, Ashley, we're trying beer. There you go, beer. I don't know what the big deal is. It's not like we were shit faced drunk in here. We were just a couple weekends ago when most Stoddard was up here. We were just kind of, Yeah, there's a lot of them back east now. 501. I'm from Florida, so it's just yeah, they are, main girl. It's like I can understand. Texas got a lot of coyotes too. Absolutely, I've hunted a little bit in Texas, but not for coyotes. And YouTube's terrible. What happened to free speech? Hey, Glenn, what's up, man? Are you at work? I take it. Chill beer comes in both alcoholic and non. Exactly. Soham's right. It's like, what if I'm drinking non-alcoholic? Because they say, oh, well, you can't show yourself drinking it. You can't have a cigar. You can't, And that was my next question, main girl, to Ashley. Thank you. Because George, I'm a duck fanatic. I love ducks, and George is cool. Growing up in South Carolina, I've seen coyotes often. I haven't like in the last 10 years, though. Yeah, a lot of people started hunting them nights. Where'd you grow up in South Carolina? Because I used to spend a lot of time in Chapin. You know, Chapin, South Carolina, right there on Lake Murray. And I've seen that too, Squirrel. I've seen people drinking and people smoking and doing all kinds of stuff, but I just don't know what the. But no, going to bed, work in the morning, just stopped to say, hey, thanks, Glenn. I appreciate you, man. Love you, brother. No coyotes tonight, no lions tonight. I had coyotes all over me. There were two or three that were like 50 yards right behind me, but it was in the thick stuff and they just weren't cooperating. And where I set up, the coyotes, they were all on my side of the river instead of being on the other side where I was hoping. But Water temperature was 92. Holy crap. Yeah, like ours is warm, but it's, Snoop Dogg and Leslie rolls a smoke a joint. Yeah, exactly. And if I did that, good God, they'd cancel. Lyman, South Carolina, small town next to Spartanburg. I know where that's at. I know right where that's at. Um, yeah, this is an awesome group, man. I love everybody here. If y'all, most of y'all I think have subbed and all that, but if you haven't, sub up. We're gonna be. I'll probably be fishing tomorrow night. Cause like I said before y'all got on here, I'm sitting down there coyote hunting. I was in the boat, and the fish were just going nuts. Um, 100 an hour. Ours is super warm here, but it's 65. Main girl George, absolute beautiful. George is cool. Yeah, go live with him, Ashley. I'm gonna probably go fishing in the morning, but Squirrel, I figured you'd be up, but I thought you'd be live tonight. But like I say, I figured I'd go live. Hopefully, I appreciate y'all coming in, man. It's good to catch up with y'all. Yeah, Clutch, I know you. We've been just really careful with that because there was some crap that happened a couple weeks ago, and people were booting people, and just be cool. I mean, the reason I'm giving it to you is because I've seen you several times. You're cool. Because it's easier if everybody's subbed if you're a moderator, because then you could go check out all these other channels and it's easier for you to sub up to them. Like Ashley B and Main Girl Squirrel's got an awesome channel. Everybody on here has a cool channel. Perlman's about the only one who doesn't do a whole lot with his, but we're going to change that. And then I saw, Glenn, where you can't show reloading. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. You can't show that you're making, I don't know. Well, I'll try and catch you, Squirrel. But that happened to you too, Main Girl. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I kind of got I don't think it was the same person, but I got the same thing. Somebody actually called me. No, Knights, I know it. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do it, but like last night, I found out that I wasn't even supposed to show like race holding the gun. But yeah, they said that you can't show like how to reload ammo, you can't sell ammo, obviously, you can't do all that. But again, I think it's hypocritical, and it just might be that it goes back to that moderator thing or somebody messing with you. If somebody gets ticked off, and Squirrel's done, yeah, he's done a lot of different things, so I don't know, man. But yeah, we've just been living the dream, staying at camp this week, and then I got the duck blind, one of the duck blinds ready, and I reached in to work on something and uh, grabbed a hornet's nest. So I got stung about 20 times on my arm. It's a good thing I'm not allergic to them. And when you're old, it just kind of actually gives you a boost. But yeah, Clutch, I showed the AR, the 300 blackout and the AR platform I've got, and I'm usually carrying a 40 Rem Mag or a 40 Smith and Wesson out here. But yeah, they just, I don't know. And that's just it. So Ham, there's the channels that are doing that. From what I understand, they did a bunch of crap to them. Like they knocked them back. They didn't take them completely out, but they're trying to. And that's what I was reading today after somebody had said something to me about the firearms. And they didn't care. They were just saying you need to watch it because, they do crazy things. Did they really? And again, man, if you don't want to watch it, swipe your thumb. I mean, yeah, and Soham, we're allowed to have full auto. You got to. They're trying to change it, but you've got to have basically a machine gun permit, kind of like what we have to get. I could get one because I'm retired law enforcement, but I didn't. Yeah, Squirrel. There were a lot of them because I thought that I got my hand in stinging nettle, but yeah, I had. Oh God, yeah, Glenn, that hurts bad. Hey, Eddie Finn, how are you doing, man? So yeah, I stuck my hand in there and I felt all this, and I looked down, and there's just wasps everywhere. They weren't yellow jackets. I killed a yellow jacket nest up here next to camp, but 2 transferable machine guns, MP5's just pricey, but yeah, Macs are cool too, though. Like you said, we can afford them. But yeah, Eddie Finn, I'm glad you're on here, man. Sorry I haven't been on your channel as much. I drop in as much as I can, but anyway, it's just been the gang's all here. I appreciate everybody stopping in and liking and saying hey and all that stuff, and um, we just kind of being groovy. So I started the fire, walked back into camp, did my fire trick, threw a match in there, watched it go poof, and I figured I just put cottonwood in it so it won't burn very long. It'll keep me from staying up too late, but pretty scared for the day. Why? Duck hunting's great, man. I duck hunted Arkansas, obviously, on the White River more than I did down near up near Searcy and not Stuckart, but Searcy and Desark. I never hunted down near Stuckart, but out here in Idaho is like a really best kept secret because I've duck hunted from Kotzebue, Alaska, because I used to live in Alaska, was a guide up there, and all the way to Florida and everywhere in between because I love to duck hunt. And this Idaho's awesome. Luger made an upper for the Mac 10 and 11 to run 5.56, just like the Coulter Daniel defense, but off half price. Still the cost Danny Fish for an upper 3K. Yeah, they're expensive. We have last year was pretty good. Opening weekend, of course, with the local birds is good. Second weekend's usually good here on the Snake. And so am I. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for subbing. And come back, check it out. We do a lot of hunting, fishing, all kinds of outdoor stuff. I'm usually outdoors, and plus hunting season's here. Chaos Goat, congratulations! You got to 1,000 subs, didn't you? I tried to push that the other night. I hope you got it. Again, I haven't gotten on there to look, but I think Josh, Silly Salmon, got on and said that you'd made it. So yeah, awesome, dude. That's halfway there. Now just get the things. Cindy, I figured you'd be fishing tonight, or you actually wore out a little bit. Chaos is a big deal now, man. He's kicking butt. I'll be back if I see a notification you're roasting something on the bonfire. Yeah, right. I just like to say it's late. It's 9:30 here. It's not super late, but But yeah, Soham, good luck with all that, man. Bob is a legend in my own mind. Nah, we just kind of being groovy. I haven't been on and seen Holy Mackerel in a couple days because, again, I get out here and kind of start hanging out. But yeah, man, good luck with that. So, Ham, thanks for coming in. It's cool. That's the cool thing about this is talking to people all over the world. I've never been to India. I've been to Russia a couple times from Alaska up in the Siberian part. But I've never been to Europe. I've been all over South America, North America, Central America, Hawaii, the islands, all that stuff, the Caribbean a lot, Venezuela, all over down there, but I just haven't ever gone to Europe. So one of these days, maybe. Yeah, our duck hunting's been pretty good. Like I said, I got the duck blind cleaned out. Clinton, love you, brother. I'll give you a call later in the week and catch up with you tonight, man. Tell Dana I said hey, and everybody. Hugs to the family. Who's been up to Who's been to North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee? Yeah. I love all three of those states. I know where Skipjack City's at too. Tried to get some trophy catfish the other night, but the mosquitoes were so fierce on the Arkansas River, I had to throw the towel in. Get a thermocell, man. I don't know if you've ever used them, but I have one on right now because our mosquitoes are kind of bad. And dude, a thermocell, they're awesome. They're $20. You get the refill thing, and I literally could come out here in the middle of the summer or bear hunt up in the mountains. And uh, the skeeters are really bad up in the mountains in the springtime. I could literally sit in my bear stand naked if I wanted to, and that thermocell's awesome. And the other thing, yeah, don't use them indoors, right? Because it'll get your eyes burning and all that. But like if you get them in the tent, if you have skeeters in the tent, and you put a thermocell in the tent and just close the tent up for like 10 minutes and then shut it off, it'll kill everything in the tent. And then just air the tent out. But yeah, man, you've had them then. Okay. I was going to say because thermocells are awesome. Um, If I'd have had them in Alaska back in the '90s, man, I'd have been fierce because the no-see-ums and the bugs in Alaska are horrid. That's the worst place on the planet I've been with them. I mean, other than Siberia, they're the same thing up there, but man, they're bad. But like I've got one going now because we've got high water this year. They've been running a lot of water through the snake. That's why my fishing hasn't been as good as it normally is. But you know, used them in Alaska. Damn near killed my wife's lungs. Yeah, they're it's pyrethrin. You know, I was a crop duster, and we used to spray that stuff all the time. And I've been around all that crap my whole life, but it's bad for you. But again, if you're outdoors with them, they really work. Except for in the wind, and in the wind you don't need them anyway because the skeeters can't catch up with you or put them downwind of you. You know. Um, but yeah, I wish I had them when I was guiding in Alaska and all the years I lived up there. But they came out with them. They sent me some like in the late '90s because I was a guide and had a TV show and all that stuff, and I was in Florida guiding down there and guiding in Alaska. But it was towards the end of when I wasn't staying in Alaska as much. But uh, they they sent them to me to try, and I only left them on for like 5 minutes, and it didn't work. So I thought, well, it didn't work. Well, they called me a couple months later to see if I liked them. I'm like, hell no, man. I turned them on, they didn't work. They were like, how long did you leave them on? I said like 5 minutes, and they're like, no, you need to leave them on till they get hot. It could take 10 to 15 minutes. And I told him, I said, okay, I'll go take them out and I'll try it tonight because I was going deer hunting in Florida and it was bow season, you know, so early and lots of skeeters. And they were right, man. Once that thing kicked in, holy crap, the bugs disappeared. I was like, where were these things my whole life? But yeah, nights, crop dusting is awesome. That's why people are like, why did you ride bulls and race motorcycles and do all the crazy crap you did for, fun? Well, when you're a crop duster, it's not dangerous per se. It's very unforgiving of mistakes because you don't have a lot of time. And I, knock on wood, have never wrecked an airplane, and I've got 15,000 hours in my logbook. So I, was raised crop dusted and flying, and been flying since I was a kid. But you got Alaska from '96 to 2010 would drop bugs out of the sky, and then they come back like zombies. We turn them. Yeah, those things are terrible, man. Where were you guiding up there, Finn? I did the No Attack River up Cody, north Kotzebue, No Attack. I did the Keezeralik River from Keezeralik Lake all the way back out. I did Antioch River, Bell Creek, um, and I did St. Mary's River a couple times, but um, Holinari River loves. Holitna. I know where Holitna is. I never flew into that lodge, I don't think. Yeah, I was in Bethel too for a lot. I know where you're at. Um, you might have run into me, man. Radar. I was a pilot in Bethel for quite a few years. Then I was a assistant station manager and senior pilot in Antioch, and then I was a station manager for Kotzebue for Ute Air, Alaska. Yep, Sleep Mute. Yeehaw. I know right where it's at because I used to fly out of Antioch into Red Devil, Sleep Mute, Stony River, Crooked Creek all the time. Awesome. Oh yeah, put two in a deer ground blind one time, tent, and about choked myself out when I cursed. Yeah, it's bad. Oh, Steve Hill. Steve has a pen or Steve Hill. Oh, Pen Air. Cause Steve Hill has all of my guide equipment is in the top of his hangar in Antioch. I actually gave it. I don't know if you know who Ray Berkey is. Ray Berkey was the station manager for Ute Air, Alaska, and then he went over was station manager for Haglund's. And Ray Berkey, his stepson, he married Ruth, and then Steve died. Oh, no kidding. So Lily, his daughter, is she still in? Man, what a small freaking world. Is Lily still in Antioch? Crashed? No shit. What he crashed in that 185? because I know he had a 185, and we used his airplane to get some crap up on my one of my last guide trips in '99. Um, we went up to because he had a kid working for him, and I can't remember his name. Real Outdoor Living. Hey, how you doing, man? And I knew his brother, but his brother Henry wasn't in Sleep Mute back in the day, or was he? Because I met Henry once, but I didn't remember. I didn't realize he lived in Sleep Mute. Um, what a small world. I didn't know Steve passed away. I usually keep up with that stuff, but yeah, it's Bush Pilot. I was fortunate, man. Good Lord sat on my shoulder. I should have been dead 100 times over because I was the guy they'd call. That's what I was about to say. Steve had that new pilot, and he didn't feel comfortable with him flying in there, so I flew his plane in there, and then they got the guy. You let the guy fly out when he didn't have any weight in there, but wow, way to survive the summer of '96. Yeah, '96. It was hot that year. I remember '96 or '97. Was it that it was like super warm, and we actually floated one trip out of Bell Creek down the Antioch, and it took us like a lot more time than it should have because there was just no water. And the guys from I don't know if you remember Rob Watlin and Steve Gillis and those guys, they used to work for me, and then they were working for another outfit. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but they started to go up there, and I caught them at the airport and said, "You don't want to do that, man. Blair Witch. That's what it looks like, huh?" McKinnington, nice to meet you. I don't think I've seen you on here before. The whole gang's here. Man, that's just Eddie Finn. We got to get together and BS because you know a lot of the same people I know, and that's just crazy. Because most people don't even know where the hell Bethel or Antioch's at. I mean, people who live in Alaska don't even know where Antioch's at. But man, I didn't know Steve died. That sucks. I mean, I knew he was getting old, but I talked to Mark Johnson from Haglin's like a year ago, and I haven't been back up there. But because I go up there and I want to stay, and I just can't do that cold weather anymore. 18 and dumb corner set the F out of Pennsylvania. I don't blame you, man. It's a lot of work too. People don't realize how hard that guiding is up there. I mean, I did hunting guiding too. I did my hunting guiding with Doug Carney out of Stony River. And well, he was actually out of Red Devil, but he lived in Stony River. But I don't know if you know who Doug Carney is, but I started guiding bear hunts with a bow because he didn't want to do that. So I got my master guide license under Doug Carney, and then did the. So you know Doug, yeah, he's a hoot. He's something else. So yeah, I did my. That's how I got my master guide license under was Doug Carney, and he kind of did what he wanted to do. No kidding, man. What a small world. That's unbelievable. Because I mean, who would know Doug Carney? Because you know how he was kind of Nazi'd up. I mean, he was trying, and I don't care, man. I get it because that's Alaska. But he was trying to get, my daughter was just born. Like, she was literally 2 years old. And Doug was trying to get, he wanted to, like, do an arranged marriage with my daughter and one of his sons who was just born. It was hilarious. Because I'm like, dude, you don't want my, yeah, exactly. Exactly. SS Poetry. He gave me the book, what's it called? The World According to Zion. Yeah, yep, yep. Doug, what a fruitcake. I mean, I loved him. We got along fine because you know Doug could be. Because the first time I went and picked up three of his clients who had, whale boners. I got a couple of those there at. I got a whole bunch of ivory and stuff at Bruce Larson's place still because you know you can't really bring it out of the states. So Bruce has all my ivory that we used to get from going and finding walruses in the spring. But yeah, yeah, right. That's a fact. But no, Doug was a hoot, man. But so I went and picked up three. I had just started kind of working. I didn't work for him. I just worked with him. But again, he helped me get my master guide license. So he had three guys that were over near oh God, flat, but not in flat. It was east of flat. I can't remember. It's just a little strip out there. I took a 207 in there, and his three guys were Doll sheep hunting. And I pulled all three of those guys out with all their crap and the three Doll sheep in one load in the 207 and flew them to the Shotgun Hills. And that Shotgun Hill strip, is kind of two strips, but it's at a left angle there. I ended up landed at the end of that thing and went all the way frickin' to the trees almost and hopped out. The brakes were smoking. And all three of the guys jumped out. They were like, "You've done this before." And I said, "Yeah, but I've never gotten this close to the trees." And Doug was standing there and he couldn't believe I brought, like, literally, when I hopped out of the airplane, the tail hit the ground. And, because, I'd used some fuel and we balanced it when we were at that airport, that little strip there near Flat. And he was like, "I can't believe you brought all that crap out in one load." So, and I was using Udair's airplanes. Udair wouldn't let me quit when I tried to quit to go do my guide business. So they'd let me use their aircraft. So I only had a 180 of my own and released a 206 from Ray Stock. If you don't know who Ray, you might know Ray Stock. He had a cabin in oh God, it may have been Flat. Um, I'm getting old. It wasn't Iditarod. I think it was Flat. He had a cabin in that I used to go hang out. But that's crazy. Doug Carney and Steve Hill. Yeah, I need to call up there and find out where Lily's at because Lily and I were real good friends. Steve's daughter. Because I lived in Antioch for 3 years, and I basically kind of guided out of there. And I was in St. Mary's for a little while too. Um, but yeah, I miss Alaska, man. It was a hoot. Sorry, guys, we got on a tangent there because it's Alaska talk. That's just crazy. And if you and I need to get up together, I need to send you my email or something. It's radarsbushcamp at Gmail. Shoot me an email, man. I'd like to talk to you on the phone because that's just what's fun to be catching up with some of these people. Soham, yay, here again, right on. One of the Hellgirls, a pretty good folk singer. Yeah, and so Lily had a younger daughter that I didn't know that well, even though I lived there, because she was young. Because Lily was only, good God, early 20s, late teens, early 20s. Because Steve kind of was trying to get us to date, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. Emmy, yeah, that's right, Emmy. I just, man, I think you're right. It's Emmy. 11:45, squirrel. Yeah, we're at 9:45. I was gonna stay out for like another 15 minutes, get some sleep, hang out, get up in the morning, go fishing. But Eddie Finn, please do that, man. My email is radarsbushcamp@gmail.com. I mean, shoot me an email, man, if you would. Because I'd love to get up with you and just BS if you don't mind. I think we'd have a lot to talk about, especially with Doug. Because we could talk about him now. I'm in Idaho and you're way the hell across. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I think you're right. I think it's Emmy. Emily, yeah. I think that's right. Yeah, seriously, do that, man. I'd love to chat with you. 'Cause I'm sure we've been to a lot of the places and a lot of the things. I'm 2 hours behind you. I knew you were back east. Where are you at, Squirrel? Do you really? So are you still in Alaska full time then? Any Finn? That's crazy. Squirrel's an hour west of you. That's right. I knew that, Squirrel. I'm sorry. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I stayed up till midnight last night. Pennsylvania now, but kept your license. And I think I knew you were in Pennsylvania. And I didn't because I wasn't getting back up there enough. I had all my vehicles down here were registered in Alaska because I left Alaska, went back to Florida, started crop dusting for my granddad because my back blew up and I crushed a disc. And matter of fact, the first time it went out, I was carrying a caribou out for Doug Carney because he called me and his meat packer, something happened and got sick. So I flew out there, went and got this caribou for a guy from Germany. Was coming back out. My back blew out. And I didn't know that's what happened. I slid down a shell side, and it got, after a couple days. I mean, I literally couldn't fly the airplane back out there. I'd stay in a tent there on Shotgun Hills, and then since I flew in, I couldn't fly myself out, and I finally got it, hanging better. Flew out of there, went to town. They thought it was kidney stones. And so that, it was like that was the end of it. And then my back in Kotzebue about 2 years later blew completely apart. But going out in one quarter, got here I got a 1 year old going back in 5 years, 11-year old. Oh, 11-year old. Um, yeah, man, if you still got that place, you and I need to hook. Because I've got friends that want to go. Because I'll tell them, like, they can't go. Friends of ours here in Idaho bought property on the Kenai. And I'm like, why would you do that? Hey, Alaska Critter Cram, we're talking about Alaska right now because anything is possible. And I know a bunch of the same people in Alaska. Like, people oh my hell, you can't believe this. It's like people I used to fly with and fly for and help and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I want to go back up there. And anyway, they bought that property on the Kenai. And you can't catch a fish there. 4 trout this year. I haven't caught anything this weekend. I haven't fished. They caught 2 nice fish last night here. But I posted those pictures, I think, of, or if I didn't, I will, of Race caught a nice rainbow last night and a big old smallmouth. But it's still kind of slow. But the trout were hitting tonight while I was, doing my thing. Yeah, that's a fact, right? But yeah, it's just crazy, man. I miss it. I really do. I miss Alaska terribly. But when my back blew up, it just what the hell are you doing up? Why are you up? It's like Squirrel said. It's like going on midnight there. You supposed Granny's Corner. Anyfin is my sister. So Anyfin Tracy knows a lot of the same people in Alaska in Antioch that I know. He was guiding up there. It's just it's crazy. But yeah, my back blew up. I had to come back to Florida. I got my fusion done there, and I had a year I couldn't fly, so I kind of bailed on everything. And I went back to Alaska a couple times after that. But man, my back ever since then, since '99, has been just shot. So I've flown. I got things better where I could fly again and that. And I drove a tour bus, did a lot of driving bands and stuff. I've had a wonderful life, man, but Alaska was just awesome. I mean, just awesome. But yeah, so anything is possible, Tracy. I'm talking like people that you just wouldn't. There's no way. He knows who they are. He's not bullshitting because it's like that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, I was just gonna stay up, let the fire burn down, probably go to bed here in about 10 minutes, and chill out. I just thought I'd get on here and Ashley B was on earlier. Skipjack Cindy was on. Everybody's been on. It's like I think everybody's just kind of hanging out on Saturday night. So I got back and I got to stoke this fire a little bit. Oh God, I'm getting old. I make old man noises when I get up now. I don't know anything. It was nice being young and virile because I could go with like no sleep, fly like crazy. Um, I remember in Antioch several times. I flew 42 hours of block time in a 48-hour period. And I mean, I used to do that all the time and just can't do it anymore, man. I'm old. Old. But Granny's Corner, my sister, she's even older than me. Now, look at that. That is like, we need a trout. Look at those coals. Holy crap, that's perfect. Cottonwood, dry cottonwood. Makes the best coals and it makes them quick. I think I'll throw one more log on here. Somebody so handsome should be sitting in this empty chair. Somebody should be. Let's see what we got here. Here, that'll make a nice flame and it'll burn quick. Yeah, that cottonwood, dry cottonwood, makes the best a fast fire. And that thing, I just lit it when I got on here, and so that was 45 minutes ago. Perfect coals. Yeah, it did things that made you change my undies. That would have been me, dude. Yeah, older than dirt. No, and no sign of the kitty. That's what I was trying to tell you. I was cougar hunting tonight, Any Finn. We've got a mountain lion hanging out here. Walked right through camp the other day, right after Aaron and his kids had left. So we're trying to take her out because that's not, something we need around here with kids and hunting seasons here and that. But yeah, that was me. I was the guy that they'd called to go do medevacs. Like the Air Force called Bethel one time. You guys will probably love this story. So I'm in Antioch. It's February. The weather is just shit. I mean, bad. And Scott Bailey calls me from Bethel, and he's like, Radar, I need you to go to Cape Romanzoff for a medevac. And Cape Romanzoff is a U.S. Air Force base. It's like a secret base that everybody who lives there knows about, but apparently the Russians supposedly didn't know about it as part of the White Alice chain. And I'm like, well, why aren't they sending somebody out there? And they said they called and requested you. The weather's kind of bad. I'm like, well, how bad is it? He goes, you'll get in. So long story short, I get in a plane. It's, February, so it's dark anyway, but this is like at 10 o'clock at night. Flew all the way out to Cape Romanzoff. It was blowing 72 knots down the runway. And they don't have lights on that runway. You have to put snowmobiles out because it's that secret of a base, or used to be. And so they got the snowmobiles out, and I could tell there was a ground blizzard going on because I had like vertical visibility, but I didn't have horizontal visibility. As I got lower, I could just started losing things, but I could still kind of make out the snowmobiles. And you always land to the right of the snowmobiles, the lights. So I landed, and I literally had to hold that frickin' thing on the ground. It was blowing so hard, and I had to take off with a 72 knot tailwind. Well, a full bird colonel comes down there, and the guy was a lieutenant colonel that I was taking, for the medevac. And he had an aneurysm, and they had to get his ass to Anchorage, And so he was trying to put like a whole bunch of people on the airplane. And I'm like, first of all, why am I here? And he told me about the medevac and who it was and all that. And I said, why didn't you guys just bring a C-140 in from Anchorage? I mean, y'all are the Air Force. And he said, oh, we don't fly in this shit. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So, of course, I gave him static about that. And he said, well, that's why we called you, man. Because I didn't know him, but somebody on the base knew me. And they're like, Radar could get in here. It's like he was trying to put all these people on the airplane. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm taking the dude that needs to go and the nurse or doctor or whoever it was that needed to go with him. Because we're going to die when I fall off the end of this runway trying to take off with this 72 knot tailwind. I literally had to keep the airplane running while they loaded him in the airplane. So I whipped a U, took off, hauled ass out of there, and I literally, Cape Romanzoff, the end of the runway, because you have to land on 2 and you take off on 20. So you land to the north and take off to the south. You cannot do it the other way because it's in a valley. And so I dropped off the runway and just kind of, there's a long, steep, like, cliff, but it's not straight up and down. And I just stayed in ground effect. And once I got off that cliff, then I picked up some airspeed and I kept going. Because the plane thinks it's doing 70, but you're really not moving. But anyway, I get back to Bethel because I called Scott Bailey. And I'm like, I know, sis. Nancy neither. So I called Scott Bailey on the radio and I'm like, hey, where am I supposed to take this guy? Because they didn't say. They just said he needed to go to Anchorage. And I don't have enough fuel to go to Anchorage. And he's like, no, bring him to Bethel. They're sending the Learjet out here to pick him up in Bethel. They're going to meet you at the National Guard hangar. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. Because, I mean, the weather was crappy in Bethel. It was just crappy everywhere. So I got to Bethel, and then they didn't want to let me leave because the weather was so bad. So I called Tiny because it was starting to get morning time, by the time this was all over and said and done. And they were getting ready to open the tower, and I was trying to get out of there before they opened the tower because I wanted to get back to Antioch, because the weather was bad. I wanted to be at home. I didn't want to be stuck in Bethel. But anyway, yeah, that's That's just one of a bazillion stories landing on lakes because I got too much ice. And I know, sis. I need to take you flying. I need to take Nancy flying because Nancy never been on an airplane with me either. So, do you still talk to Doug? You need to tell him you talked to Radar and tell him I said hey, and that tell him that be glad that his son didn't marry Shelby because she turned out to be she's my ex-wife just ruined her. I haven't talked to her in years. It's just bad. But yeah, Doug was. He'll tell you about me hurting my back too carrying that thing out. But that's crazy. Yeah, Doug's a hoot. He's God. He's got to be what? I'm 61, so Doug's got to be like what 70? I bet. Because he was older than I was by a little bit. Not a lot, but he was probably 9, 10 years. I'm being nice. I'm being nice. I'm being nice. But Doug Carney, yeah. So Anyfin, Tracy, Anyfin is possible is friends with the guy that I got my master guide license under for hunting in Alaska. I bet you did, man. He's different. Like he didn't bother me because I'm from the South. I mean, you know, we didn't. I didn't have a problem with Doug. I like Doug. He gave me shit about my back going out though, because he's like, well, if you can't do that, you need to be in shape. And I was like, I was in really good shape back then, but I didn't know that my disc had crushed. I didn't know what happened. I mean, it went out, and I went sliding down the shale slide with a caribou on my back. But yeah, you gonna steal? I could see Doug doing that. We're different. How are we different? You're the best looking one, and I'm, you know, not as attractive as you are. You're fabulous, sister. Fabulous. Squirrel, you still with us, man? Um, really? I did not know that. I did not know that he likes Elton John. I I I I would have thought when he came out of the closet that Doug would have like just had a fit, you know. Yeah, special. Yeah, Squirrel. I just would check to see if you were hanging out because I figured you'd be live, but I'll check you out tomorrow night for sure. Fabulous, my sister. Yeah, Eddie Finn. If you guys haven't subbed up to Granny's Corner, it's my sister. Y'all go check out her channel. We're trying to get her to 400 subscribers. Dude had 10. Not even sure he knew. That's unbelievable. I cannot believe that I talked to you and you know Doug Carty and Steve Hill. And Doug especially, because hell, he was in Red Devil Stony River all the time. Thanks, Anyfin. I appreciate it. Yeah, check out Sis's channel. She's got some cool content. She's a sweetheart. She's the brains of the operation. I'm the one who just gets in trouble. And she's in Florida, and I'm in Idaho. And she's heard most of my Alaska stories. So her and my wife both are tired of hearing them. They're like, because I'll start to say something, and my wife's like, yep, heard it. And I'm like, the other night we were sitting at the dinner table. I started to say something about something, and she's like, yeah, I already heard it. And I'm like, we're there, aren't we? Like, we actually have absolutely nothing to talk about, do we? And she's like, well, no, there's things that happen during the day, but yeah, I've been here long enough. I've heard pretty much all your stories. And she said, I know they're true because they're always exactly the same. Like, you never deviate. And I'm like, well, I'm starting to forget some things, man, because I'm getting old. Unlike my sister, she's fabulous and super smart, too. But thanks, Anyfin, for subbing to her. And I think Squirrel subbed to Granny already, haven't you? She's a hoot. Yep, same. Still married. Your wife dragged up there. Man, wow. And she hung out with you. Yeah, you got to hang on to her because Alaska's hard on people. You know that. It's hard on people. Because I saw something on YouTube where it was like why people are leaving Alaska. Well, I know why most people leave Alaska. I'd still be there if my back hadn't blown up. Because when I went back, I actually went back for a winter and tried to fly just to see if I could do it. But with all the metal in my body, the cold, I just can't do it. It hurts too much. I mean, I could hardly move. And I was at Kotzebue, too. So I was a station manager and senior pilot in Kotzebue. And I was also the director of stations for Ute Air Alaska for a while, even though Scott was the guy who actually had the title, but I did all the work because I was doing it anyway. But yeah, Squirrel, check out Granny's Corner. You would like her content. Uh, it's my sister. She does a lot of. She's gonna do some cooking stuff. She's got recipes and all that stuff, but she's just good old Southern. She's got a. If you think I got a Southern accent, you should hear her. She will put me to sleep in a good way because she's got that real Southern, just one of those sweet Southern voices. If she starts to read you a bedtime story, you won't get past the second page. You'd be out because she's just very animated, but she's just Where are you gonna put your cabin? Is your cabin going Alaska? So anything you need to sub to Alaska Critter Cam. He lives down there next to my sister in Florida, but he has property and a game cam and stuff up in Alaska that he, puts all the stuff in at. And I'm not exactly sure. He's up, I want to say, like, it sounded to me like above Eagle River, like somewhere up in there, where his game cam's at. But it's nice to go in there and look at it because it's like, hanging out to. Yeah, Squirrel, Granny said she just subbed up to you. Um, we're trying to get Granny to 400 because she's going to pass me. I'm at like, I don't remember, 750 or something, but she's been growing really fast. Yeah, anything, please do. Check her out. But you've got to send me an email, man. Like, please send me an email because I'd really like to get on the phone with you, man. And everybody on here, I've talked to a few people on here on the phone so they can all vouch for me. Granny's Corner has to vouch for me because, well, I guess she wouldn't have to, but please tell Doug I said hey. That's right, Homer. I don't know why. I was somebody else on here was talking about Eagle River, and I just got mixed up because I'm old. Because I was thinking you were like north of Eagle River, like going up towards Hatcher Pass, kind of is what I was thinking. Yeah, anyone that knows Doug, that's crazy. Yeah, he's. Boy, that brings back a lot of memories I haven't thought about in a long time, too. Because I think about Alaska all the time, but just, the closest cabin to Doug. Doug in Holitna. So is Doug still in Red Devil? I know he lived in Stony River, but he did his guiding thing out of Red Devil. Because I guess, what was it, his wife was from there and they had a cabin there or something. And I never understood why he used that instead of Stony River, other than Red Devil's kind of cool. But you talked to me today? Or you talked to Squirrel? Did I talk to you today, sis? Yeah, I talked to you today. Yeah, I did. Come to think of it. Hell, it's 9:45. It's 10 o'clock. My brain quits working at like 8:30. Well, look, guys, my sister needs to go to bed. I can't believe you're up at midnight. I mean, I know you stay up like I do, but, you need to take some meds, go to sleep. Um, yeah, Alaska Critter Cam. I'm telling you, anything, that's amazing. I cannot believe what a small world it is. I mean, of the hundreds of millions of people that are on YouTube, you and I sub to each other and find out we know all those people. That's just crazy. And Doug Carney of all people. That I mean, it'd be one thing if you knew I don't know, Will Johnson, who used to know you there, or uh, oh God, what's his name that was down that Will bought you there from, that Phil Bingham. He wrecked all those airplanes in Merrill Pass. And like Phil Bingham, a lot of people know Phil Bingham. I could see, somebody like that I know. But Doug Carney, I mean, good God. Yeah, that's right. You were in the pool. I forgot. Um, that's crazy. That's just, damn, dude. Doug Carney. I haven't heard that for, wow. Yeah, you were in the pool, weren't you? And Dwayne Allen was in the pool with you. That's right. I forgot. I know you don't take meds. That's why we need to get you something so you could sleep. Because the meds I take to help me sleep actually help me sleep. So, but I won't go to sleep if I don't take them. I'd be up all night. That's what happened last night at 11 o'clock or 10:45. We went to bed, but I forgot to take my meds, and I'm laying there at midnight wondering why I wasn't asleep. And I was like, "Oh, you dumbass, you didn't take your meds." Anyway, but yeah, that's cool, Eddie Finn. Get with Alaska Critter Cam. You guys would have a lot to talk about too, because he's gonna build his place up there. And again, it's just man, somebody like you, I'd come up and see you, because I. It's not like I need to come to Alaska and go fishing. I've been all over Alaska fishing. I just would like to come hang. Robert May. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Well, I'm Robert Orth, but nobody in Alaska knows my name. I was even when I flew for Yukon helicopters out of Bethel, they paid me. They wrote my check out to Radar. I lived at 101 Radar Way in Antioch. Everything was Radar. And my mom actually called Tom at Tom Ratledge at one day to check on me or something happened, and she called work and she asked for Robert Orth, and he was like, "No, Robert Orth works here." And she said, "Oh yeah, that's Matt, because my middle name's Matt." And he's like, "We don't have a Matt, Robert Orth, whatever that works here." And my mom's like, "Yeah, you do. He's one of your pilots, One River Road Sleep Mute." Yeah. So um, he said he was arguing with my mom on the phone, and he said Pat Day, one of the other pilots, walked in, and Tom Ratledge was telling my mom, "There's no Robert Orth that works here. There never has been. And if I do see him, I'm just going to smack him, and I'll never fucking give him a job," and hung up the phone. And so Pat looked at Tom Ratledge and says, "Who's looking for Radar?" And, and Tom said, "Radar has a real name?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's Robert Orth." And he's like, "Oh, crap. I just hung up on his mom, I think." So I called my mom because when I got back from flying, Tom told me you need to call your mom. He didn't tell me what happened. You need to call your mom. So I called my mom, and she's like, "What happened? I called your work today, and they said they've never heard of you. Is everything okay? Because, are you in trouble?" And I'm like, "No, Mom, because Pat told me what happened, because Pat actually was living with me at the time. And Pat was like, yeah, Ratledge hung up on your mom. He didn't know your name was Robert Orth, because they did. They made out my checks in Radar." So mom had a fit. She didn't believe me for a while. I had to send her pictures of me standing in front of, and that was back when you had to actually snap the picture, get it developed. Because remember how you guys probably still do it. I don't know. We all used to wait for the mail because we'd send all our photographs to that place in Seattle. So everybody, when they got mail, got their pictures back. It was like a big deal to, you know, everybody come over to the house and drink beer and go through the pictures. "Hey, Nicole, what are you doing? I was wondering where you were at." We were about to bail, but I'm glad you got on here. Alaska, Eddie Finn knows a bunch of people I know in Alaska, like people that, in sleep mute kind of people. Um, anyway. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I'm real sorry to hear Steve Hill died. He was a sweetheart. He was always really good to me. He kept trying to get me to go to work for him because he had that hangar at the very end there. And I worked for Ute Air, Alaska. Hagler tried to get me to go to work for him, but I was so busy with my guiding stuff and my fishing trips and all that I just, yeah, it was just a little much. And I was happy at Ute Air, and I just left obviously because of my back blowing up. Otherwise, I would have stayed there and kept flying, doing my fishing guiding business. But that's where the Radar's Bush Camp came from, because my business was Radar's Alaskan Bush Camp. And then my Florida business was Radar's Unlimited Adventures. So I went back and forth, like I said, between Florida and Alaska, because my clients in Alaska wanted me to come someplace warm, in the winter and take them fishing. So, how you doing tonight, Nicole? See that your thumb covered the lens. For what? No, it's the fire's going down. I was going to let it die down because I got to go to sleep at some point. See, it's just a nice little coal fire for throwing a trout on that I didn't catch today. Because yeah, I didn't even fish today at all. I was doing camp stuff. I changed that bed out, put that new big higher air mattress in there and all that stuff. But see that your thumb covered the lens. For my naked butt, I'm actually got clothes on. I'm fully clothed in camouflage still. So, how you doing tonight, Nicole? We love Nicole. It's kind of cool that everybody's a moderator, and I know all you people, and you're just, yeah. Yeah, do that, man. Shoot me an email. I'll check it later, and I'll answer you, and I'll give you my info and stuff, so you know who's calling you and all that kind of stuff. And I'll get up with you when I get back home next week sometime, or shoot me a text, or I don't know. I know you guys. I remember when I was up there the last time, they had just got cell service in Antioch, and Steve Hill, and that pilot. I cannot remember that kid's name. Um, they were using a cell phone, which I was floored. Like, we have cell service here now. Like, I had no idea. Um, Pretty cool. No fool when you get the pictures back after waiting to get. Yeah. No, I actually took good pictures because it was expensive, man. It was high dollar, and I had that really good. Well, it was a Nikon camera with all the lenses and stuff. I used to take some really good. Well, you've seen some of those pictures. I need to get them out and like take pictures on my phone of those pictures and share them on here. I've got some cool pictures of Alaska. Yeah, no one to see my naked butt. Yeah, any Finn, when Mount Spur erupted, do you remember that? When Mount Spur blew the whole side of the mountain off and Anchorage was closed for like 3 weeks, and do you remember all that crap? I actually had to use satellite that was spotty. Ran a 5K to get a signal. Ran a 5K to get a signal. Um, yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, when Spur blew up, right after when they finally like released everybody to fly to Anchorage, because it didn't affect us out in the bush, but other than nobody was leaving Anchorage and we started running out of stuff. But we were, uh, I flew Bruce Larson in a 207 into Anchorage through Merrill, and Spur's right there on the left. And when we got there, Bruce was asleep. And I was like, I've always wanted to look into a volcano. So I flew over into the crater and was making a real hard left hand bank trying to take a picture of the steam coming out of the thing, like out of the. And Bruce woke up and all he saw was a cliff in front of him because I was in a real hard left hand turn. And you'll pay money when I fall off the boat and have to crawl back on. I'll go do that right now if you're going to pay money. How much do I get? I'll go jump off. I'll go fall off the boat for you. I'll make it like really special too. Um, But yeah, he woke up. So he wakes up and he started to grab the yoke. And I kind of hit him in the chest and said, "Don't, just hold us in this bank." Because I mean, I was in a hard 90-degree bank to the left, and he's like, "What the hell are we doing?" I said, "I'm taking pictures of the volcano." And he's like, "Have you lost your freaking mind?" He said, "If this thing blows up, we're dead." And I said, "If we were 10 miles from this thing and it blew up, we're dead. Haven't you ever wanted to look in a volcano?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, actually." I'm like, "Well, hold it in the bank." So I actually have some pictures, and all it is like a bunch of snow with steam coming out of it. I thought there'd be like lava and all the stuff you see on TV. Yeah, it was kind of disheartening. But I have flown into a volcano like 2.5 weeks after it blew up. Um, and that probably would have made you poop yourself because it about made Bruce poop himself. And it wasn't the volcano; it was the fact that we literally were up against a cliff because the whole side of the mountain blew out. It was a big like giant V out of the mountain. So I just flew into that, went to the crater, made a hard left hand turn, and made about 3 or 4 hard turns in there to get the pictures. But yeah, it was. I love Alaska. It was cool. I imagine a lot's changed up there now because after 9/11, I heard a lot changed, and it was fun back in the day, man. We could get away with all kinds of stuff. But well, look, guys, I got to get off of here. It's 10:15. I still got a bunch of work to do around camp tomorrow. The fire's burning down. So, sis, if you're bored, call me. Um, when I get off of here, I'll talk to you for a little while if you want to. If you're not going to bed, because I still got to get ready for bed. But um, I appreciate all y'all getting on here, man. I'm glad you and I got to chat, Finn, Alaska Critter Cam. Yeah, good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Y'all be safe. Skipjack. Well, I call you Cindy. I hope that's okay. Because you're awesome, Cindy. I've been watching I haven't been able to stay on long, but I really enjoy your channel. So, yeah, Granny, if you haven't subbed to Cindy, go sub to Cindy. I think you already have. But, yeah, love you guys. Everybody in here is just awesome. Thank you so much. I'll catch up with you tomorrow again. I'll be getting that Starlink hopefully the first of next week. So I'll be able to, do these live streams and not be falling out on you guys like I've been doing while I'm out here. So love all of you. Seriously, I think the world of every one of you. So sleep tight. You all be safe. God bless you. All that good stuff. Okay, I might throw you on and watch you when I go get ready for bed, Cindy, if my sister doesn't call me. You gonna call me, sis? Because if you're bored, call me. Otherwise, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Where are you going fishing tonight, Cindy? Real quick, where are you guys going to be? Night Squirrel, love you. Knoxville, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. Cause like I say, by the time I take my meds and get ready, it takes me about 30 minutes to go to sleep. So if you guys are live, I probably won't stay on long. So I don't think I'm being rude. But again, love both of y'all. Appreciate you, sis. Give me a call if you want to. If not, I'll catch up with you later. Yeah, Mr. Haney. You guys be good. See you later, Cindy. Love you guys. Y'all again. God bless you.